Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I will talk about how we can deal with file operations in Python. So there are several functions for creating, reading, updating, as well as for deleting files. So before we move ahead, let's take a quick look at the modes in which we can open and create a file. So these are the file modes which are available for us to use in Python. Initial four ones, I would call them as the primary file modes, which are mainly for read, append, write, and create a new file. And rest two, text and binary, these are the additional ones which we can use it to specify whether our file is a text file or a file holding binary content like image and all those things. Okay, so coming on to the first one, which is R file mode. So whenever you want to open a file in a read mode, then we need to specify R. And let's say file doesn't exist. In that case, it will throw error. If you want to append content to your existing files, then you need to mention file mode as A. And let's say if your file doesn't exist, then it will go ahead and create a new one. Third one is the write. It is used when you want to open a file for writing. So it creates a new file if it doesn't exist. And the last one, create, so that we can do it using X, and it is used to create a new file. But in case if file is already existing, then it will throw an error. So that's the main difference between write and create. So create will throw an error if file is already present in the given path. Okay, so let's go ahead and quickly try out few of these things. I am on my VS Code, and the very first thing which we are going to do is let's open a file. So open is the function which we need to use. Then we need to mention the file path, complete file path. So if your file is in the current directory, excuse me, then you need not to mention the complete path, but if it is located somewhere else, then you need to specify a full path. And then you need to mention the mode. So here I am saying read mode and my file is text. So read and text. Then I need to go ahead and say print f.read. And the most important thing is closing the file handler. So if you're not doing so, f.close, or you're not calling the close function, then it will keep your file handler dangling in the memory forever. So it is always recommended and must remember practice that you should always close it. Okay, so let me go ahead and try this out. Okay, so you can see that it has read the file and the file is having two lines. Hello, I'm Shweta. Now, as I said that read is the default mode and text is the default mode, we can also go ahead and omit this last parameter. In that case also we will still get the same output. Hello, I'm Shweta. Now let's say if you want to read only 5 characters. So in that case you just need to pass the parameter 5 here, and it will go ahead and just read the 5 characters for you. Let's say you want to read one line, only one line. So there is a function read line. So I'm going to call that, and you can see that this time it has read only one line. So if you want second line, then you can make another call and it will give you 2 lines because you are calling the read line function for 2 times. Now let's see how we can read the entire file using the for loop. So I will remove this from here and say for line in F. Okay, and then you can go ahead and say print line. So if I'm doing this, you can see that I'm still getting the output. So you can also use the for loop to iterate through your entire file or all the content. Now let's talk about append. So for append, I'm going to define the mode here itself. So we need to mention A for append, and next we need to write new text what we want. So for that we have a function called f.write, and here you can say added more content or whatever text you want to show. So let's go ahead and try this one now. Okay, so there is nothing printed, but I can go ahead and open the same file and read mode and show you. Here I can simply go ahead and say printf.read. So now you can see that it has appended the content immediately after the last character, added more content. So this is how you can append the text. Coming on to the override, so if you want to override, here you can simply pass W. So if you're passing W in your open function, then it will override the file if it is already there. And if you want to create an empty file, in that case you can go ahead and say X here, and here I will provide the new file name, sample new. Let's say this is my new file name, and I just want to create the empty file. So let's go ahead and run this. Now if I will go to my file explorer, I can see that a new file is created here, and that is empty. Okay, now let's say you want to write to a file, but whenever file exists you want to throw an error, or you do not want to write when file is already in place. So now if we have already created the file, and if I will go ahead and do this, it will end up with this error that file already exists. So this is the main difference between X and W. If you're using W, which is for write, it will still go ahead and write the file, whereas in case of X, it will try to create a completely new fresh file. So if file is already there, it will give you the error, something like this. Now I want to show you one more important thing, which is about OS module. So OS module is required whenever you want to perform deletion operation, or if you want to remove a file, or if you want to check if certain file exists on that path or not. So for all these things we have to import this dependency and say import OS. So OS is the module name which is having all the required functions in it. So, and if I want to check if particular file is present or not, so what I can do is os.path .exists. So, and here inside you need to provide the file name, that what file you are looking for, and if it exists then you can simply say remove it and provide the file name. So this is how you can, as of now I can hard code it, file path, Control-C here, and I will paste it here. So if file exists, then only it will go ahead and remove it. So this is one use. And another use is, let's say you want to remove file, so you can simply go ahead and say remove and your file path. If you're sure, and if this doesn't matter for you, then you can also go ahead and do this. Okay, now another thing is, let's say you want to remove the directory. So for removing the directory, there is another function rmdir, and inside that you can pass your folder path. So if you will execute this line, it will remove the entire directory, which is whose path you have mentioned over here. So this is how we can use or perform the file operations using Python. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.